Yo, what is going on, guys? Godrekton here today, bringing you a short little video that I want to kind of address you all on some stuff. Firstly, a lot of people came to me so far within the new Season 14 and on my latest videos and even on my Discord, my League account. A lot of people have been asking me about builds. First of all, just to kind of, set the tone and all stuff like that as well, this video is not talking about builds necessarily, but it's talking more about certain items that are currently bugged with Renekton. And when you're asking me about like a build guide and stuff like that, I'm going to probably need a couple weeks, so expect like maybe the beginning of February when the meta's figured out and the items I've played have all been tested to really have a good build guide that are like made at a high level and also have like a high testing process on. But yeah, so aside from that, that's when you'll probably expect my build guide. But to talk about the main issue of this video, and something that I want to get addressed, is that a lot of Renekton's items on the current season are pretty bugged. And I don't know how to really get Riot to fix this, or like how we can do it, but if there's any way that you guys can spread this video to any Rioters, or, anyone of note that can kind of push the video out there, that would be a gigantic help for the Renekton men's community, and even just the top lane and League player base community that wants these items fixed for the sake of the greater good. Because, personally, I think Riot not having a preseason creates a lot of these problems, and it kind of sucks that we have to suffer right away, with, negative win rates, people getting lost, people telling me that, Renekton's weak, they don't know what to do, and all this and that. And it's definitely tragic, but I do want to also, help you guys out in this video to have some, build ideas and alternatives, because a lot of people are kind of lost right now. So I'll do a little talk about those items, what to build, but right now let's talk about the main focus of this video. So firstly, as you guys know, there is a lot of new items now in the shop, and because there's a lot of new items in the shop, that means there's a lot of new passives, a lot of new items have been reworked, so on, etc. So in this video, the items that are bugged and that you probably should stay away from most likely are Sundered Sky, Shojin, Hullbreaker, and I believe that's it right now. Okay, so yeah, that's mainly the items. So let's talk about all these items and why they're actually good for Renekton, but also why they're bugged. Firstly, Sundered Sky right now is I wouldn't say Renekton's best item, but it's definitely an item he could certainly use. Champions like Aatrox, Riven abuse this item pretty hard. And from playing it in games, the healing is absolutely ridiculous, like in my last video. But upon testing even further on my stream yesterday, I noticed that the item was more bugged than I thought it was. Why is this item bugged on Renekton? Well, as you guys already know, and what I've already said in various little things in my last video, is that Sundered Sky is bugged on Renekton's W and doesn't proc. What I didn't know though was that the item completely goes on cooldown, which is very, very horrible, of course. So you could flash W someone, and you'd think the auto afterwards is going to work, but no, you don't get anything. You don't get the damage, and you don't even get the excess healing as well, which is really, really bad. And from playing it yesterday as well, I was having a lot of frustrations with this item because I wasn't getting my money's worth. And when you look into the shop and consider it, the price and stuff like that, being a 3,100 gold item, you want it to work and you want Renekton to use it. And when you consider him against other top laners, he's definitely one of the weakest ones right now due to this reason. I'm not saying Renekton's totally weak because of these items specifically, because I think a lot of people just haven't tried everything. But a lot of people are building Sundered Sky because it's the hot item right now for bruisers, and because it doesn't work on Renekton, his win rate is drastically lower as it looks. The next item that is bugged on Renekton's W is Shojin. Shojin is an item that Renekton abused a lot last season, and even seasons before that when it was around. It was really good because basically it worked on all your abilities, you had moon speed, you had all these core bruiser stats. It was just an amazing item overall for Renekton. In this season, upon reading it, you're like, oh, wow, all my non-ultimate spells give me additional haste, I get bruiser stats still, 20 ability haste flat, and I also get increased damage per every spell I do. So 3% for each stack, 3 times 4, that is 12. So when you put that into consideration, that is a lot of extra damage, and it goes up towards, PTA, Prowler's Claw type numbers when you compare it with PTA, or if you have PTA on top of that, and even Last Stand, additional percentage numbers, which Renekton loves, right? The thing is, it doesn't work on your W, because W is coded as a basic attack, I believe, and because it's coded as that, it is not getting any benefits whatsoever from the Shojin. Renekton's Q is benefited, his E and his ult, but not his W. But this is gigantic too, in a way, because again, 3,100 gold, you're spending your gold basically for the stats. Still though, I don't think it's the end of the world if you can't buy this on Renekton right now, but yeah, point being, this item just does not work on your W. So the whole effectiveness and the point of wanting to build this, it's completely, you know, pointless if it's not going to work on your main damage source. So yeah, that's basically my point about Sphere of Shojin. The next one, and probably a more underrated item, is Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker did get changed, as we can see from the stats. It is a little less tankier, but has a bit more AD. They also changed the way the item works. You're meant to have extra damage on your auto attack against champions. So every fifth basic attack, you deal this amount of damage, 254, plus your health as bonus physical damage. But it doesn't even work. So if we just check it out real quickly. It doesn't even proc my, as you can see, it doesn't even proc it. If we try and count it up here, let's have a look as well on this. It's only auto attacks. So, again, another item that Renekton is not benefiting from whatsoever. And if we just consider the price into account as well, I should know all the prices already, but to be honest, it's a new season, so I have to keep looking back. So 3,000 gold. Basically, in a bruiser build, you are spending 9,000 plus gold for items that don't even work on Renekton. And Renekton's, like, builds right now at least have 6,000 gold worth of items that don't even work properly or as intended. That's not to say you can't play an item like Sundered Sky, because Sundered Sky is pretty good still. I think it's still very good. It's just that you can't use it optimally, and there's going to be situations where you're completely gibbing yourself because you have to W instantly to survive, to kind of peel yourself off. Then you just like try and like play for the auto of Sunderer, but you don't even get that, so yeah, it doesn't even work. Overall, that's kind of like the whole main bit of the video I want to say. Like, these items don't work. I would definitely avoid them until they get fixed, and that it's like a guaranteed fix, of course, and I'll be looking out for that. And yeah, in the meantime, it's best to supply other items. And you might be asking, Godrekton, what items am I going to play? Renekton feels absolutely horrible. I can't do a single thing on him. Every game I go Tiamat, I'm outclassed by this, that, and this. Well, at the moment, I've came up with some build ideas. I mean, this one's not exactly complete, but for a typical bruiser build against maybe fighter champs, you could go Bork. Bork is still good. It did get a bit nerfed on the passive because it no longer has magic damage on the active. Or not active, sorry, the passive. But it's still great for Renekton's W. It's great for your dueling stats. You then can get a cleaver into Titanic, Jackshow Sterix or Sterix Jackshow, and you have a really well-rounded build for stats, and you're very strong too. And if you don't want the Bork, you can just go Titanic first into Cleaver. Titanic first helps you get Prio for the Void grub thingies, or whatever the fuck they're called. My bad, I don't remember the name. So when you have like an item like that, you push in, roam, take these, benefit your team. You can roam into jungle, roam mid. And there's a lot you can do with Tiamat as well. But Tiamat's not always good. You might want to go Cleaver first as well if you want like tanky stats. Have Armor Shred against tanky people. I still don't think it's entirely strong and needs buffs. I do think Cleaver needs some buffs on the passive. But aside from that, like you can do those as an early start, then like cater into more items. People also say that, you know, AP is very broken, but I found that if you also do build this item, which has 80 magic resist by the way, and a lot of health and base health regen, and then the passive, it will give you a ton of health. And also, I believe if I ult right now, you get even more out of the magic shield. So it's very, very good for Renekton, keep in mind. But you do have to ult first, obviously, before you try and use it. Otherwise, the shield's going to get eaten up. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of build paths you can do on Renekton. It's just that people still haven't figured it out. There's also like this build that I like doing real quickly. I like going, I've been liking Ghostblade Rush into Chuelda, Bork, Profane. In a game against like bruisers, like a Darius or like Set, I probably want to go Bork first into Ghostblade and then Profane. So it really depends on matchups, and it comes down to a lot of limit testing too. So yeah. Also, I need to remove this. I think I just put it there as like an alternative. Like if I want to be a little bit tankier and have Shred for my team, I can go this. I can even change out the Profane for a Titanic as well in a full AD build, just like the old times. Maybe get Edge of Night or Jackshow. Maybe Jackshow has a bit more value here, just so I'm a bit tankier as well. And then level 18, if I'm just like playing. I have a lot of stats to work with too, you know, it's a pretty nice build. But yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about items. Just wanted to give you guys a little heads up that there are other items out there that you can do to itemize with. So it's not the end of the world if, you know, you wanted to play Sundered Sky. I'm sure it will get fixed for Renekton's W. And I do hope that we can, like, try and get this video out there so Riot can, you know, look into it and fix it. Because I don't think it's fair that you spend these stats just for it not to work on your W, because a lot of other champions can benefit off these items that Renekton can't. So yeah. With all that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for, checking out. If you have any questions about anything, leave in the comments below. I will be posting more videos tomorrow, like just on regular builds and all stuff like that. Gonna try and test everything that I can. And within the February start, I will try and go for Challenger Claim. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited. Hope we can get Renekton fixed before then and everything. With all that said, have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.